Hello, my darlings. How are you? Hope you're doing really well today. I wanted to talk to you about some wisdom I gained in this tiny little book called Words of Strength and Perseverance. I bought it in the English countryside, a beautiful place called the Cotswolds. And it's really helped me over the years because there's some really profound wisdom in this tiny little book. And sometimes when I've been going through my problems, I've just kind of opened a page and just referred to it to try and get some insights, advice and information. So today I'd like to share with you a Greenland proverb, which is absolutely fantastic and has helped me many times. So I'll just read it out to you. When you've gone so far that you can't manage one more step, then you've gone just half the distance that you're capable of. Now, when I first read this, I got quite angry because I was like, what do you mean half the distance? I'm at my limit here. I'm at the end of my tether. I'm so stressed out. What do you mean half the distance? But then once I was able to calm down and really look at who I am and the inner strength that I hold and put those words into perspective, I began to understand that if this is the halfway mark, then there's another halfway mark. There's wonderful wisdom and strength and resilience inside of me that I didn't really know was there because I've never accessed it. So I slowly started to access it, and I slowly started to go inside and put my attention on my heart and soul and just create some quietness and some peace. And I did this whenever I had a problem, and I would kind of just really go inside and feel my heart chakra and listen and almost close out the outside noise. And when I was inside, I would get the right information that I needed for that particular situation. So I would get the downloads of information to say, you know, this is the action that you need to take, or maybe you need to think about this or something like that. And it was always really clear information that really helped me with that particular situation at the time. Now, a note of caution, you do have to focus and concentrate when you go into your heart and you're open to receiving downloads, because if there's too much noise or your brain is churning over and thinking too much about what you're going to eat, what you need to do today, what bills you need to pay and all of that, it's not going to happen. You literally have to close the mind, you have to shut the mind off and go into a different part of your body, which is down here. So put your attention, my advice really would be to put your attention here. So put your focus here. Where you put your focus is where your energy goes. Many people have told us this already. So if you put your focus here and you're open to receive, you get the right information. And occasionally, yes, we're all human, the mind keeps churning and keeps coming up with stuff, but the more you practice, the better you are at actually just being able to ignore those thoughts and let them move as clouds in the sky and not pay any attention to them. So back to my heart chakra. When I'm in there, I feel a sense of bliss because I'm in the present moment and I'm really asking the universe for guidance and asking my team in spirit for information, for guidance, for anything that's going to help me in my particular situation. And really this works so many times. It took me a while to get there and it takes practice. So some of you will be able to access this infinite wisdom like that because you're a lot more open, or you don't have so much chaos in your life, or, you know, there's a plethora of reasons. But for me personally, I really had to learn to hone in and really focus and really go inside and listen to the wisdom that my heart and soul has. So my soul is infinite, right? My soul is completely infinite. It was alive before I came to this planet, and when I die and I leave this planet, it will continue living in a different form. And this is what I believe. I'm not necessarily saying you have to believe it, but this is what I believe, and it gives me some solace. And yeah, through that, knowing there's that infinite wisdom that I can rely on any time, I've been able to resolve a lot a lot of problems because the wisdom has just naturally flown and come through. I'll give you an example of this infinite wisdom. For example, when I do healing sessions, I have quite a lot of knowledge on the Chinese meridian points. In India, we call them the nadis. But you know, when you see the acupuncture charts where you've got all the energy flowing across the body, there are around 3,400 of them, as far as I can remember. Around that many. And these are the meridian points all over the body that they use to put the needle in when they do acupuncture, or the points that they press when they do acupressure. Now, when I do healings, I know a lot of where those points are, and I've never studied it. I swear to you, I've never studied it. But that was infinite wisdom that I must have learned in a past life, or that was already in my soul, that came with me in this life. So I have an amazing piece of wisdom that I know I've never studied, but it's there. So when I do my healings, the meridian points are really, one of the big aspects that I use, especially when I'm doing massages and releasing trauma from my clients. They're really one of my go-to kind of tools and resources that I use to be able to clear out old energy for my clients so that they can then progress to the next stage and evolve to the next stage of their lives. And I just think, when I look back and I think about it, I just think it's such an amazing thing that I have this beautiful piece of wisdom that I never studied. And so once you start going into your heart and your soul, and you start going into your heart chakra, you really begin to see so much more. There's a lot of information in there that's just revealed to you because you've shut down the day-to-day noise and you've gone into a really, really sacred place in your body. And this has worked for me time and time again. What about you? What sort of stories have you got to share about going into your heart chakra? What sort of infinite wisdom have you carried along your lifetimes that's been revealed to you in this lifetime? I'd really be interested to know. It'd be really nice to start a conversation and really share this information. Some of us really don't talk very much about this, and I think it's really, really important. So I suppose the two conclusions for today is, number one, you've got a lot of resilience, you've got a lot of you've got a lot of beautiful wisdom when you're going through hardship and you're going through your lessons. And so really, really dig deep and go into your heart and soul, and the answers will all be revealed there. And number two, just spend some time really, really going into your heart chakra and learning what's in there and getting to know yourself that much better. There are loads and loads of meditations, guided meditations and non-guided meditations on YouTube or various other channels, providers, excuse me, that you can go and you can just go through a guided meditation. I used to do that when I first started off because I wasn't so good at tapping in myself. But as I've practiced now, I don't really need guided meditations. I just close my eyes. Sometimes I have some crystals in my hand and I just go into my heart and soul. And I just listen. I just absolutely listen to what beautifulness, what gorgeousness is there in there. Another thing I'd like to say is, your ego does try to trip you up a little bit there. So the first thing you hear will always be the truth. And sometimes we don't like the truth, or sometimes the truth reveals something that we're not ready to take action on. For example, if you're in an abusive relationship, the first piece of wisdom would be, you need to leave this person, or you need to make a drastic change here because this isn't working. But we don't listen to that a lot of the time. And then the second piece of information that comes in, again, if we use the relationship example, will be something like, well, maybe if you try this, then that person will change their behavior and they'll be nicer. Maybe there's something that you need to do. Maybe, you're not kind enough, or maybe you're not good enough for this person, or something like that. Thought number two is always not correct. It's your ego. It's not correct in any way, shape or form. The first one is the truth, the absolute truth, and it comes from your soul. So be careful not to be caught out there, okay? All right, my darlings, I hope you have a really, really gorgeous day wherever you are in the world. I send you my love and my blessings, and I look forward to seeing you soon, okay? Have an amazing day. Bye for now.